Hey guys, how you doing? Today I'm gonna talk with you about the group Out in Eden. They was a successful Christian girl band who had major success in the US till the early 2000s. After that, they slowly disappeared. They never officially disbanded, but they didn't release music since 2006. The three sisters Lisa Kimmy Winans, Andrea Kimmy Baker, and Danielle Kimmy started their career in Nashville. Since they was little kids, they loved to sing together and to be around each other. While they was growing up, the mother realized that her daughters have real gifts and had the potential to become professional singers. So she nurtured them and trained them to sing and to harmonize. After a while, the stepdad decided to take some of their tapes and to send them to some huge record labels and to see what will happen. They piqued Toby McKeon's interest. Toby is a successful Christian rapper who sold worldwide more than 10 million records. He won 7 Grammys and was also a member of the group DC Talk. In 1994, he decided to create his own record label with the name Golden Records. At that time, he was looking for the right acts and he found the girl group Out in Eden and he was impressed by them. After the group signed their deal, they started to work on their first solo album. The first single dropped in 1994, Lovely Day. It was a remake of the Billy Winters 1978 hit Lovely Day. The girls had the chance to promote the song on several platforms, including on the hit show Moesha. Shortly after they released their first single, the album came out with the title Lovin' the Day. It was a mix between R&B, hip-hop, urban, jazzy sounds, but at the same time you had the good message, the good vibes, and it don't sounded like a typical teenager album. It had a mature, established sound. At that time the girls was something between 12 and 15 years old. The album peaked at number 10 on the contemporary Christian music charts. After the success of the first album, they decided to go back in the studio and to record a second album. In 1996, they released the first single from the second album, More Than You Know. The song was a laid-back R&B hip-hop song with good message.
Willingly, someone to rescue you from all your disgrace, who will show you all his presence, love and grace, more than you know, more than you could ever dream, is waiting just for you. There's so much more, waiting for you than it seems if you're loved and believe.
November the 5th, 1996, they released their second album, More Than You Know. The album included, of course, the hit single More Than You Know and a remake of one of the most legendary groups of all time, the Clark Sisters. They covered the song You Brought the Sunshine. With the second album, they had even more success as with the first album. This album peaked number 14 on the Christian Contemporary charts and was the first album who entered the US Gospel charts. The album peaked number 29 on the Billboard Gospel charts. After they toured and promoted the album everywhere, they started to record their third album. With the third album, the sound started to shift in a little bit different direction. They weren't as young as they was at the beginning. They started to become young women and to create their own mindset. They was ready to explore more when it comes to the lyrics or the sound. Just to remind you, in 1999, the music industry started to shift. It was the end of the bubblegum era. A lot of musicians who started as bubblegum teeny stars tried to build a more mature sound, and pop music started to become very popular and dominated the charts. You had the Britney Spears, the Christina Aguilera, TLC, Aaliyah, Destiny's Child. In my opinion, the third album represents all the styles. Previous album of Out and Eden had more the hip-hop vibe, the laid-back, chill vibe. They was pushing the envelope. This album sounded more like pop, more up-tempo songs. The lyrics were stronger. From sound to outfits, everything stepped up. On June 15, 1999, they released their third album, No Turning Back. The album peaked number 6 on the US Billboard Top Contemporary Christian charts and number 9 on the US Billboard Top Hot Seekers charts. Like with their previous albums, they started to promote the album as good as they could. After they promoted the third album for a while, they started to work on their fourth album. The first single they released for that album was the song Meditate, kind of a worship song with an R&B flavor. They shooted a video for the song and started to get more and more good reviews for that. January 29, 2002, they released their fourth studio album, This Is Your Life. Till this day, this is the most commercially successful album that they released. It was the only album that entered the Billboard 200 album charts. It picked number 178, number 11 on the Christian charts and number 6 on the Gospel charts. That album earned them some award nominations, including for the Stellar Awards. They won Urban Album of the Year and Urban Song of the Year with Meditate. After they had so much success with their fourth album, they decided to go to the studio and to start to record their fifth album. And again, they pushed the envelope, worked with different producers. They wrote most of the songs on that record and became vocally stronger, individually, also as a group. The first single from the album was the song Love, Peace and Happiness. A good vibe summer song. After they released the song, they dropped the album on February 10, 2004. The review scores for the album was really good, and the album peaked number 16 on the Christian charts and number 20 on the Gospel charts. Shortly after they released the album, they started to work on the follow-up album. Number 6 came out 1 year later with the title Hymus. On March 29, 2005. It peaked number 29 on the Christians album charts, and it was the last official album that the group released. The album was nominated for a 2006 Grammy Award and the Best pop contemporary gospel album category. In 2006, the label decided to put a greatest hits album for the girls together. During the promotion era, the girls decided to go separate ways and shared their personal decision with the world. Since then, everybody of them have their own life. They are married, built their own families, and still very close with each other. Of course, they are sisters. Out of Eden is a very interesting group. So I discovered Out of Eden and I started listening to their songs, and I was really impressed by them. And I asked myself why they did not get more airplays and why did the group never become bigger. Because to be very honest, the group had the potential to become as big as Destiny's Child, as TLC. They was talented. Every one of them could sing. They looked good and they had good music. And I think a lot of people around the world would celebrate them as a group. But in this era it was a little bit harder than now, because they were signed by an independent label. They don't need this huge budget like the other groups or the other acts in the industry. So they made the best of it. Of course, I think they could work a little bit more on the image and the styles of the group to make them a little bit more unique. But overall, there was a really good group. And the people were saying all the time, oh, they are more pop. And the pop people were saying, oh no, they are doing Christian music or gospel music. They could not put them into a genre. So I think that makes them amazing. They did music for everybody, not just for Christians, not just for gospel people, but they did music for everybody because the sound of them was outstanding. And that was the reason why I said at the beginning they could easily compete against the other groups that was out there at that time, because I never hear that someone mentioned them. They did their thing and I respect them. If you don't know them, if you never listen to their music, go out, check it out. You will not regret it. I hope you liked that video. We see each other on the next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and don't miss the next videos.